24 and this top 8 be 2-0s and 3-0s, but we've also seen extremely close games like that where everyone is last stock red in Game 5, and we are starting this set between STTP Wilson and Wrench. This is losers semi-finals. The winner moving on to face Boomy.
And here we go, going right into Game 1 on Mammoth Fortress. The common neutral map pick as both players are going out, and we're already seeing Wilson using those down sticks to be able to cover Wrench's movement. A side stick comes out, punished by the downer, but he manages to get a recovery, punishing Wrench's movement, and there's the down stick on the side of the stage. Wrench already getting caught by that. Tosses the weapon aside, he's denying Wrench from any other weapons, and a nice side light into neutral air coming out from Wilson puts Wrench deep into the orange, almost into the red. One more axe downer or side light combo will definitely be able to put him to kill percent.
You're seeing the axe coming in, though. That's what I'm curious about, this axe into Katars. That's been kind of up in the air in terms of matchup-wise. Like, if the Qatar player can get in, they can do some work. But we've seen Wilson is not really letting Wrench get in. The side stick coming in. Wrench is putting out some decent damage, getting Wilson closer and closer into that orange.
Here. No.
Oh, it's the side stick. He charged it up just a little bit, waiting for Wrench to land.
Excellent patience on that side stick there, too. I think that hurt box extended just a little bit farther than Wrench was expecting. But regardless, Wilson, knowing exactly where that was going to land or not, was able to get that kill, and now is putting on a decent amount of damage on the Wrench. He finds a nice air, and jumps into the weapon toss. Will he be able to make it back? He doesn't. Solid edge guarding by Wrench there, showing why he's so great off stage.
His timing there, is super important.
Yes.
Because you saw STTP Wilson coming in with that recovery, throwing that axe hitbox 360 degrees around him. So if Wrench did that too early, he would have gotten hit by it. But he waited and waited and waited for those hitboxes to come out, for those frames to be over before perfectly placing it.
Now we've got the guitar ditto going on right here as the recovery comes out from Wrench. Both players exchanging their guitar strings in whatever way fashion. And it's not going in favor of one player or the other. He's going to go for the weapon. I feel like Wilson wants to exchange these guitars over here for the axe, because that's where he's been able to get the kill confirms on. Side light comes out. Will he go for the down stick here? He's waiting for the right amount of wall touches, and Wrench manages to make it back in a nice recovery. Disarms Wrench, and he's going to go for that weapon. Will Wilson cover it? He tries to go for the neutral sig. Side sig, not quite. Ooh, there's the side stick from Wrench, and he goes in for that chase dodge down stick, and Wrench going off stage with the ground pound. A ground pound of Wilson's own. Wilson's got to be careful here to find some recovery. Because it was beneath the stage, it didn't KO. I'm waiting for a down stick here from Wilson, be able to cover Wrench when he tries to go back for his jumps, but instead, Wilson just is waiting it out. Side stick riskily goes off stage, but Wrench isn't punishing, and the down stick instead disarms Wilson himself.
There's the neutral light coming out from Wrench. The weapon toss trying to follow it up. Both players unarmed. There is one weapon spawn coming in. Wrench is able to jump up. Ooh, the gravity cancel down stick coming out. It's going to be the slap on stage. The weapon toss keeping Wilson away from that weapon. Ooh. The side air, the weapon toss. And it looks like that is probably going to be all the movement options for Wilson. Wrench throwing that wild card flag in the middle of the stage. He is in kill percent at this point. You're seeing him juggle those weapons, opt for the Qatars.
And now Wrench, with a stock lead, is going to try to avoid every axe air that Wilson can throw out, maybe even an unarmed air. He was going for a quick dive kick off stage, and that's a little frightening. Falling there doesn't come out. Nice guitar string, waits out Wilson's options, but the side stick does not connect, and it gives Wrench an I love it. I love that option from Wilson there. Being able to read that spot dodge, use the neutral sig to be able to catch him as he comes out of his dodge, kill him off the top with that neutral sig. Wilson now evens things up 1-1.
But before that, I also like Wrench placement. Yes. Whenever Wilson threw out that side stick, he didn't have the increased range this time. Wrench completely overspaced it. He didn't fall into those final pixels of that max range.
Oh, and Wilson's got to be careful. He's off stage here. He's already got his jumps very low.
Back to back.
He has a recovery and a dodge. That's it.
There is that wild card flag. Game 1 going Wrench. Do you see that grin coming his way? That was a pretty confident win, throwing up that okay hand emoji.
You've got to be really careful with your jumps on the ledge, because sometimes you can do what I like to call panic jumps, right? And you're getting hit, and you're just like, I got to get back to the stage as soon as possible, but they're ready for that, and they're going to literally stand there putting out moves to catch you out of your jumps, and you don't get all of those back when you get hit. And then when it can lead into something as nice as a ground pound to be able to send you beneath the stage, there's no way that you're going to be able to come back. The dodge does a decent amount of distance, but doesn't go that far. So Wrench had an amazing peace of mind to be able to punish Wilson's recovery there, and Game 1 ends up going over to him. But it wasn't a stomp. I think Wilson could make the correct adjustments. As we were talking about earlier, it seems as though the name of the game is that once Wilson gets off stage, Wrench is at the advantage.
Yes.
And when Wilson's on center stage, Wilson's at the advantage.
I would definitely agree with you on that, but we could see the neutral game going one way or the other here. You saw them do the Qatar dittos, and it was dead even.
Yep, they were exchanging blows back and forth, not going in the favor of either one.
2-1 brawl.
But Game 2 2 is starting up here. Let's see who gets the first weapon spawn. Wilson finds that axe, and he's going to look for these sidelight strings. In fact, just gets a side air, down air, connecting very nicely on the Wrench, but Wrench finding his own nair combo. Ooh, he riskily goes for a GC Neutralite in the middle of the air there, and Wilson's able to find some hits. Neutral Stick does not catch him as he's falling, but a nice fastfall Sair manages to catch Wrench. And the Neutral Stick, that might be an early kill.
That is the stock there. That is a huge early kill. Wilson was not even all the way through orange at that point. He was maybe 2/3 of the way through the color changes of that orange. We could see another one. Wrench is just going in. He saw Wilson off stage, saw blood in the water, and really went for it. He's seen Wilson off stage here again. There's the side air, there's the dare.
And the Neutral Stick comes out. He tries to get it, but instead, this is going to be the KO.
We could see the option again. Oh my gosh! Wilson is going to fall. 2-stock lead going the way of Wrench.
Wrench is fully taking advantage of the fact that when he gets Wilson off stage, he's kind of like, you know what, I don't have to worry about anything. Nothing's going to be happening to my character here, because Wilson's full intention is just to recover. That's all he's trying to do. And Wrench, his full intention is to KO his opponent by any means necessary. And he was able to do that even though Wilson got the chase challenge back to stage. Now Wrench is off stage, and well-placed down tick manages to get that snipe. He found one of those earlier in game number 1, but that's the first stock, and Wilson lost his first 2 stocks in under a minute.
And you saw Wrench was going for more off-stage play. You saw the spot dodge over on the right. He was probably setting up if Wilson was going to go down. Big neutral sig, big gravity cancel, down sig, the weapon toss. That is the stock. That is a JV3 in losers semifinals.
Player 2 wins.
Wrench is up 2-0. And he's making this look like a speed run. That's crazy. He's going off stage, and he knows exactly what Wilson wants to do. It almost seems as though that last stock on game 1 is when Wrench learned where Wilson wants to recover. And since then, he has just been punishing it time and time again. Every time that Wilson was off stage, it resulted in a stock.
He's been using gravity cancel signatures off stage, knowing exactly where different signatures, the same signature. He just has the finger on the button of where Wilson is going, where he wants to be. Wilson has to reset this. We've seen Wilson make mistakes in the past and come back from them. He doesn't seem to be too shook by them all the time. I wonder if he's shook right now. I know he seemed a little bit frustrated earlier with a little bit of the mid-set coaching coming in. Nobody wants to seem to coach Wilson, but he's coming in on this neutral game, has a little bit of a damage lead right now. He has the axe into these Katars.
And he's doing a good job of being able to stay in center stage. This stage has a lot more room for recovery because you're not just trying to touch the main platform. You can get onto either one of these 3 platforms when you're getting back to the stage. And he's doing a great job with this axe of being able to get fleeting hits, nice neutralite, punishes Wrench's landing there, tosses that axe away so that he can have the down sig option from the Katars. It's not the same signature on axes as on Katars, so he has that ability to edge guard there. But Wrench finding a nice neutralite, gets the D-Light. Wilson always jumping to get back into center, and a nice D-Light recovery gets that KO, and Wilson's playing much more to his strengths than he was in games 1 and 2.
Yeah, he definitely is not shook whatsoever. He is coming back from those 2-game losses, even that JV3, just completely looking fresh, wanting to wipe that slate clean and treat this like this is game 1.
Down tick comes out after he narrowly avoids that neutral sig from Wrench. Nice. String coming out, doesn't get the D-Light, but he does get the dodge from Wrench, so which means that he could find an opportunity to find another Katar string. Neutralite sends him off stage, jumps once again into that weapon toss. He's going to have to dodge back out of the stage. Wrench surprised by how
completely avoids that edge guard right there. He's going to touch the wall and immediately get back to the main platform. There is a quick clapback coming out from Wrench. He's going to plant that flag as high as he possibly can on the Enigma soft platform without using his dodge for a gravity cancel. Picks up the sword here, gets the neutral light, gets the side light, tries to get the jump side air, doesn't get it. Wilson comes in, picks up these Katars, takes another neutral light. There's a gravity cancel side light at the bottom of it, picks up Wilson. He's on the wall just for a moment. He's trying to get back, and that's what Wrench wants, and that's what Wilson has to do.
Wilson does, however, have those favorable options to just keep jumping. He can just keep going until he gets to the top. The neutral sig actually catches him and sends him off stage. He goes for a ground pound, and this is an opportunity for Wrench. He manages to make it back. The ground pound does not connect, but Wrench does not get the punish. Side six off the stage. Wrench looking for that side light and gets punished by Wilson's nair. The neutral sig trying to catch him for landing on the platform, but instead stops that down sig. Second down sig connects. He dodges out of the way of that weapon toss, but nice nair to cover that falling, and the recovery doesn't kill at the top. Will he go for a neutral sig? I feel like he wants that GC neutral sig really badly here. Wrench D trying to get back on the stage. The recovery comes in for the axe, and Wilson maintains his lead.
It is so slight right now. He's doing a good job not staying off stage. He did go for that one big ground bound commitment. He's gone for a couple side signatures over the edge as well, but he hasn't made huge commitments even when Wrench seems to want to. Wilson's playing right on this main platform. You see that side signature coming out from Wrench. Nice bait.
I like that because, like we said, the longer you charge a Suri's side signature, the farther she travels. But if you let go of it immediately, you could bait your opponent to try to go in for a punish and get the kill. I love that chase dodge. Chain them into 2 of them. If you get a hit and you're grounded, you can chain 2 chase dodges into each other and change the direction of them as well. Wilson trying to find these side sticks, still has a stock lead, and Wrench is actually in the orange. He can't find this KO, and he's not getting as punished off stage as he was in game number 2 here. Wilson gets that recovery, puts Wrench near kill percent. He's going to look for that down sig, maybe put out a second one because Wrench is running out of wall touches. There's the second down sig, doesn't quite hit, but Wrench, you got to be careful with those side sticks. That side air slaps him as a punishment there, and Wrench is trying to get back onto the stage. Side stick from Wilson does not connect, and that will be a quick cleanup from Wrench. And this is where it's scary because even though there's a damage lead, if Wrench gets Wilson off stage, we've seen how quickly he can kill him.
I don't think we're going to see Wilson make any major commitments off stage. We're just going to see those down sigs. Of course, he might touch the wall just to reset his jumps if he gets knocked off stage, but I don't think we're going to see him spend any time. The downlight dares, another downlight. Wilson did dodge through one. There's the side light coming out from Wrench. There's a D-light. The recovery does not miss. Wilson really high up on these soft platforms.
He's taking a ton of damage here, and he's not going to be able to find anything. I feel like he's looking for his signature KO. The Nair is not going to be able to kill. It puts on a little bit more damage. The D-light doesn't combo into the recovery. Wrench puts out a really risky side air, and the falling Nair. Wilson getting the offstage kill this time rather than Wrenched, and confirming game number 3, not making it a 3-0 blowout, and showing that he is adjusting against his opponent here. He's just like, okay, I obviously don't win off stage. Let's not go there. And he's manages to take game 3. He's moving on to game number 4. Let's see if Wrench is able to ban him out to a stage where he'll be able to have more things. I feel like if we go to Thunderguard Stadium, that's heavily favored in Wrenched.
I would definitely agree with you because that platform in the middle, that is a soft platform, so you can get hit through that down into
You've got 4 walls to worry about.
That is a shenanigans zone where crazy things can happen. We could see just those side airs, the falling nairs, the ground pounds, the gravity cancel neutral signature coming out from Wrenched in that territory, and that's something, that's another pit that Wilson has to worry about. We might see them going back to Enigma. We could see them going to Mammoth. It is going to be Wilson's choice here between these 3.
And he bans out the 2 stages that I expected, which was Thunderguard with that deceptive center stage and Blackguard Keep with that wonky platform on the left. And we're going back to Mammoth Fortress. So this will be game number 4. Wilson's making adjustments, but Wrenched is also making the same adjustments. That's what makes these players so strong. It's why they are in top 4. We're going to be going into game number 4, and Wrenched opens up with the first nice neutral light, but Wilson responds with the guitar string. He's looking for neutral lights to be able to catch his landing. Sares aren't hitting, and both players are actually managing the space around each other in a way where they're not getting any hits. There's the first hit, but it's just being exchanged. Wilson wants to get off the side of that stage. Wrench is baiting him in, but he knows that Wilson has that down tag. He has to get back to the main stage eventually, and this is the game that Wilson likes to play.
Now you see Wilson moving back and forth, back and forth. He's not using the dash, he's just moving himself back and forth without using that dash or anything like that. You're seeing him try to space everything really well, so he's right there to punish when he needs to be jumping. There's the dare, but again, it's trading hits back and forth. Both players orange right now. Wilson getting just a little bit more damage on Wrench than Wrench has on him at this point. There he tries to probe with the neutral signature, goes with the immediate downlight.
Oh no, he side sticks off the stage, and Wrench immediately capitalizes how quickly Wrench is able. Oh, Wilson actually manages to get back out of the stage. I thought that was a stock.
Oh, that clash there, saving Wilson.
I would be very scared if he goes for another side stick. He dodges in place to stop the momentum from that recovery. Another recovery might be able to KO, but Wilson narrowly manages to recover here. Wrench has to get back out of the stage. A nice neutral light keeps Wrench on his toes. Wilson's not even trying to deny the weapons. He wants him to go above his head so that he can get the recovery. Cider does not hit. Neutral light connects. Oh, the one thing I don't want Wilson to do right now is side stick. Okay, there's the weapon toss that we saw from earlier.
He needs to be so careful with ground pounds like that on the edge. I like that he threw the axe. We saw him do that really well in one of his early sets today. Just kind of dribbling that off of his opponent on the edge. There's the down signature, expecting Wrench maybe to dodge in right after that.
And now Wilson going in for that recovery. Dodges out of the way of his recovery, and a swat from the Sarah. Doesn't matter that it hits the stage first. Wrench was so damaged that he was able to get that KO, and it's just because of how meticulous Wilson was playing that first stock. Just making sure, okay, not off stage, no risks, just get the damage. Eventually something will kill. The side air from Wrench is not enough to be able to do it. Charges up that side sig on arm, 2 side sig on arm.
Back and forth.
He's getting a little impatient, and he's getting punished for every single signature that he's throwing out. Spot dodge in place is read by Wilson's neutral light. Wilson seems to have Wrench's number here. As long as he doesn't go off stage, he's getting neutral light light after neutral light. Wrench finally gets the recovery kill, but that was from white to orange in a stock that Wrench should have been able to clean up quite quickly if he just waited and picked up a weapon.
Wilson had so many perfect whiff punishes there. His movement was just erratic enough that Wrench was trying all of these wake-up options. Those back-to-back side heavies were just completely read out by Wilson. Wrench was looking a little bit desperate there, trying to find the kill very quickly to even it up, and he took so much damage in the process.
And now here's Wilson throwing out that down light, trying to make sure that he can get and can keep this lead before taking too much damage, waiting him out. Oh, that neutral light from Wrench, I like that, using the platform to be able to reposition. The recovery comes out. Wilson goes for a GC neutral stick to see if he could read Wrench falling down into his hands, but he doesn't find it. Neutral lights are just going to keep stacking up. He doesn't mind if he keeps finding neutral light after neutral light because, like we saw earlier, he'll just be able to get a quick stare to be able to get that KO. Tosses the weapon down. That's as far as he's willing to go off stage. And for good reason. As he finds this neutral light, Wrench is trying to get the damage onto Wilson here, and if Wilson's not careful, this is the problem with having the lead and playing the way that Wilson's playing. If he's not winning in neutral all the time, Wrench is going to even things up very quickly, and then Wrench can just find on one nice quick signature to be able to take the lead.
But you're also seeing Wrench try to get Wilson off stage, picks up that nice neutral signature, but he was trying to get Wilson off stage earlier. You see a lot of Qatar players going for the downlight dare, trying to just completely take their opponent on the half pipe. You see Wilson getting that nice recovery there to keep it dead even, but Wrench, instead of going on that half pipe, he carried Wilson to the left. That's what he was going for, to get Wilson on the edge where Wrench succeeds.
Now a side light coming out from Wilson to try to start up some kind of string. The game's completely even here, which is scary for Wilson because if he drops this, he's out of the tournament. Wrenched on the side of the stage, and Wilson not taking the bait. He waits for him to come back. He knows he has to touch the platform and he just neutralizes him the second that he comes back. Wrench trying to make some mix-up there by tossing his guitars down to interrupt a neutral light that Wilson might get for the landing, and now the string is starting. Goes for that GC side light, does not quite connect, but he brought Wilson in the orange. He goes for the neutral stick, stopped, and now Wrench is really putting on the pressure. The down stick does not quite connect, and both players just walking left to right, waiting for the first one to go for something. Wilson does not panic jump into that neutral stick, otherwise that would have been game for Wrench, and Wrench looking for a D-light recovery. That doesn't kill off the top, but it's so close. Wilson trying to go for that weapon. The side stick's not safe.
Really going for that. Wilson is going to commit off stage using so many of his movement options, using his dodge for the down signature.
The GC neutral stick, it's not coming out. Wilson's trying to find that down stick. Wrench just needs a D-light recovery, a D-light stare, something. He knows that he gets the KO.
Wilson has to be so careful.
Weapon toss. He has to recover high. Wilson goes for that recovery. Oh no, it does not quite connect. Wrench putting out that side stick. That's so risky. He dodges out of the way of the weapon toss. Wilson does not want to go off stage for this. He gets the downer.
Oh,
that might be it.
That's a big start. The weapon toss.
He doesn't get the downer.
Gets around it.
Oh, this is so close. He can't go super far off stage.
Wilson has to win this, and he does, keeping himself tied, tying up that set 2-2. That's the first negative reaction that we've seen out of Wrench so far in this tournament. He almost had that in the palm of his hand. It was so close for both of those players.
Think of it this way, right? Game 1 was close, but Wrench had control the entire time. Game 2, Wrench took Wilson off stage and demolished him.
Yep.
Games 3 and 4, Wilson's showing what he's made of. He's going like, okay, all right, I see what your game plan is here. I'm going to play my game, and Wrench has not been able to take the game back from him, as we were able to see in that game. Really close, but it's a win. We're going to game number 5 here, and this is for losers finals. This is to see who gets in the top 3. It's 2-2. Wrench has already stated that he's going to be winning Dreamhack Austin, but Wilson's over here saying, you know what? I don't plan on making that easy for you.
Yeah, and Wilson's the one smiling right now. Wrench is looking a little bit shook. He just had his head in his hand earlier. Wilson, with the thumbs up, was actually just mocking Wrench, putting his own head in his hand. He gave a fist bump to part of the creed while Tiffany was doing a little bit of coaching to Wrench right now, and we're going back to Mammoth.
So no janky stages here. This is the same stage that we just saw. Both players are going to be duking it out. This is the final match for them, tournament match for both of these players. And Wilson opening it up already in a Qatar Ditto. Finds a nice neutral light. Goes for a ground pound read. Does not quite connect, but Wrench doesn't manage to punish. And another down air. Wilson just finding string starter after string starter, knowing that he might not be able to get the string that follows it up, but any damage is good damage.
That's when Wilson's neutral game was really succeeding. He wasn't really trying to force those strings. He was getting 1 or 2 hits and then waiting. Wrench is the one who goes for those 3, 4, 5 hit strings. That's where he succeeds, and Wilson is just that 1 or 2 piece.
I'm liking what Wilson's doing with his dodges right before he lands on the ground. When Wrench is expecting to pick up a landing, he diagonal dodges up into the right. And then he follows with his own down air, but a nice down stick from Wrench. Disarms him, gets the weapon toss. Wilson fast falls beneath Wrench to be able to recover, and that's a really risky ground pound. Manages to find his way back on the stage, picks up an axe, recovers, and gets a nice stare, making the damage a little bit more even. Wrench had an opportunity for a very early lead there, but instead, Wilson finds the neutral sig, puts him into the red, and now has Wrench on the side of the stage. And the downer, Wilson doing what Wrench, the last thing that Wrench was expecting, and going off stage. Nice stare. Wilson dodges through that downer, and Wilson, ooh.
Oh, again with the ground pound, the unarmed ground pounds. He has been probing with just like one of those, trying to find something, just having enough iframes to get through that weapon toss, and there's the ground pound from Wrench, riding right next to that wall where Wilson had to go to reset his jumps.
Wilson tried to touch the wall as fast as possible by using his unarmed down air, and when you touch the wall with it, you do get your jumps back, but you're not immediately able to move, and that's what Wrench was able to punish with that ground pound here. And Wilson, with 2 unarmed recoveries, looking for the third one just to get the KO off the top. He does not want to take a lot of damage off the stock. Trying to find these falling stairs, doesn't quite get it. Wrench just waiting patiently, looking for his opportunity to get anything in to extend this lead. Wilson doesn't find the neutral light, and Wrench is finding these combo starters here on these guitars. He can't find anything. D-Light comes out. D-Light does not hit from Wrench.
Oh,
Wrench
this is
gets
big
the neutral
damage.
sig. Weapon toss comes out. Is Wrench going to go for that ground pound? He misses it, but
Wilson's still off the edge. Oh no, Wilson! That is a 2-stock lead going the way of Wrench. He is still trying to do this off-stage play in this Game 5 situation when it hasn't worked for him before.
And now Wilson has to get the stock immediately. He can't even afford to take any damage, and then he has to play the most insane neutral that he's ever played in his life to be able to make these stocks 1-to-1. He can't get past orange, I don't think, because if Wrench is able to continue that offstage game, he's going to be in trouble. And Wilson already going offstage, trying to get that recovery KO, but he finds himself in the most perilous position of his life. He needs to get back out of the stage. He clashes with that ground pound. Wrench not afraid to go off stage, down air in the ground
Wilson.
pound. No, no,
there's
it's just
the
dare,
the gravity cancel, neutral sig. Wilson is done. Wrench continues. We thought Wilson was going to be the one to possibly take down Wrench. The smile on Wrench's face right now. He will be moving on. That offstage play.
I was talking about that taking control of the game, making sure that you had your playstyle, right? Games 1 and 2, that was all Wrench. 3 and 4, that was all Wilson. But in the final game, after a really close first stock, Wrench was able to get Wilson exactly where he wanted him, off stage, and took advantage of those guitars and completely demolished him with a 3 stock. That's got to be feeling really good in this match that he's got coming up against Booming in Losers Finals.
And it wasn't